Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story. The story of Jamaicans at home and Jamaicans abroad on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Stay with us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story by calling our local numbers 876-922-41125. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Power 106 FM app via the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, as well as on onespotmedia.com. Plus, listeners in the USA can dial 631-359-8281 to listen. And if you're in the UK and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953. You can watch Both Sides of the Story live on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Both Sides 106. Email bothsides106@live.com. Send your WhatsApp voice notes, audio messages, and text messages to 876-365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to Both Sides of the Story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
I shall return again. I shall return to laugh and love and watch with wonder eyes at golden noon the forest fires burn, wafting their blue-black smoke to sapphire skies. I shall return to loiter by the streams that bathe the brown blades of the bending grasses and realize once more my 1,000 dreams of waters rushing down the mountain passes. I shall return to hear the fiddle and fife of village dances, dear delicious tunes that stir the hidden depths of native life. Stray melodies of dim remembered runes. I shall return. I shall return again to ease my mind of long, long years of pain. The poet laureate, the great Claude McKay, lived from 1889 to 1948. I shall return, he tells us in this poem. And we say welcome to you, good afternoon, thank you for joining us on today's edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. As we always say, well, we give you the information first, of course, in terms of what's happening on today's edition. It's Tuesday, the 29th of October, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Both sides of the story. 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 Both sides of the story.
We also look forward to your text and WhatsApp messages and your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. That's 876-922-4112 to 5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. As we continue with more here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and looking forward to your usual presentations and expressions. And we thank you for your listenership and support here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, as we continue to take your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And weather-wise, there is a system. Let's just bring this up and tell you about it. The hurricane trackers warn up to 3 storms will form in the Atlantic. This is exclusive AccuWeather forecast. There is a risk of tropical impacts, they tell us. The hurricane trackers warn up to 3 storms will form in the Atlantic. Now, this is an idea of what to expect in the region. So just thought I'd share that with you. Hurricane trackers warn up to 3 storms will form in the Atlantic. So it's going to be a busy period in the Atlantic. So we need to be mindful of that and to take the necessary precautions. We also took note of the fact that young Terry Garr, young Frankenstein and Tootsie Star, died at 79, and we convey our condolences to the family, friends, well-wishers, and fans of this actor. And there is another story. Trump hits Harris ahead of her closing argument speech at the Ellipse. And a violent attack on democracy. Ballot boxes set ablaze in Oregon, Washington. So just a quick scan of the stories according to the collection done on MSN and shared for those who use this particular MSN website. So we are going to take the break and come back in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Morning Agenda continues the tradition of providing a unique platform for healthy public debate. Weekdays from 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Corey on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Kemwan McEachron on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays, as they set the agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. Morning Agenda, speaking with the stakeholders, movers and shakers of our day, serving listeners in Jamaica and around the world. Stay tuned to the Morning Agenda on Power 106 FM, weekdays 7:15 to 9 a.m., where we set the agenda. Both sides of the story. 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 Both sides of the story.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. So we look forward to more of your calls and your messages as you listen to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And we thank you for your listenership and support as usual at home and abroad. Oh, let's say hi to some of our listeners and viewers, by the way. Sorry about that. How could we forget you? Quite a few messages. Bishop David Cleary says, "Good morning, sir. How is the weather in Jamaica?" Uh, a little melancholic, I would say. That would be an apt description. How is it for you, wherever you are experiencing this kind of weather? We should ask now. Hermin Bowie Bailey says, "Hello, Mr. Malcolm. Please say hello to everyone in Harristown, Milford Road, and Great Pond in Ocherios, in the beautiful garden parish of St. Anne. Blessings to you and your families watching from New York," says Hermin Bowie Bailey. Mike Montgomery says, "Good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. Happy Tuesday. Keep safe." Jeannie Chambers says, "Good afternoon, teacher." Good afternoon, Jeannie Chambers. Hello to Faye Weller. She says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. I'm here listening as usual to my favorite radio station," she says. Valerie Weller Peck is also on board. She says, "Good afternoon to everyone." Good afternoon. And thank you all for logging on and joining us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, as we continue to take your calls and your messages and look forward to more of the same. In the meantime, though, we encourage input, participation, and general sharing of information. So we look forward to your input in that regard. In the meantime, though, once again, just to remind you, the numbers to call both sides of the story, 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. The environs seem a little quiet. You feel like when you speak now, you're disturbing the peace. At least that's what we're experiencing from the studio end. One can only imagine what the experience is on the outside. The sun shining brilliantly. That's what we experienced coming in. But of course, we can't see what's happening out there now. But whatever it is Jamaica. And we continue to play our part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. And let's go to another call here. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Malcolm, how you doing?
I am fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm here just go port and come back relax.
What was that experience like?
Could you repeat?
What was the experience like?
Oh, most people do early porting, so where I go, it is too crowded.
Okay.
So Tuesday, you have a more bigger crowd, but I try to beat the crowd.
And what's a general procedure? I mean, is it is it close to how it is in Jamaica?
Well, in the Jamaican community, they carry Mr. Harris to win. But you know we have to wait until that day comes because it's not over until it's over.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's a wait and see too.
All right.
So we are keep hope alive that she go through.
Okay.
All right. So I hear one argument that Mr. Nigel Clark should leave tonight. Is that true?
Yes, he's going to be exiting office here in Jamaica
Tonight. No.
tomorrow, effectively tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And they also say up to this moment the Prime Minister don't replace. What is this?
Sorry, lost you for a moment there. The internet signal got a little choppy a while ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, he might leave tomorrow, but the Prime Minister, up to this minute, him do have a replacement. Him do announce a replacement. Why is it so?
Well, maybe the arrangement is not right now, but it's almost there.
I hear Mr. Mark Golding, him a fire, saying that if the Prime Minister think him the Prime Minister, why not take that post? Him going to raise a hell to make sure that don't become a reality. So my question to you, him have the power can stop him from being the finance minister?
If it's his cabinet.
Because one thing him say, wish him have a point, but at the same time, the Prime Minister is the man who in charge of the country. So I don't know why stop him. But what I think, if him is not the man going to take that post and him have a replacement, I think him should announce that from last month. So when the finance minister leaves, this is the person going in charge or whatever. I will go and take them by surprise.
Yeah. Well, it remains to be seen what is the approach that is being taken.
Okay. So come Friday morning, we hear what happened.
Well, it remains to be seen.
Wait and see. So let's see what happened Friday morning.
Okay. Thanks for the call.
All right, man.
Okay. What do you think, listeners? Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Thank you for your usual participation. And keep those comments and calls coming in, please. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line once again, 876-365-3346. As we keep it going here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's see. This one says let's see. I was going to start taking photos of our dinners, so I had something to go back to for inspiration, says this message. And everything will be fine. Just pray and everything will be fine, this one says. And this one says, was sentenced to 50 years imprisonment. And let's see, going down the line here with the messages and the calls. The calls once again on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. And as we continue with more on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. And still taking your calls, and we're constantly looking at the device to make sure that we don't miss the news or the story. And we thank those who have been sending us messages here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. And all right, let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. The girl passed my granny and saved her money under her mattress. Well, at an old time something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And come on, buy a little house, but also saving a bit in society. We have to be smart. We always save our money.
So, what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Look at this something. With the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
Sides of the story.
Sides of the story.
A couple of stories worth watching as well. Catch up. Hezbollah names new leader and a deadly strike on Gaza. Also, could there be a Republican trifecta? Is another question that is being asked by some international sources. And Saudi Arabia's Business Talk Fest. And so Ukraine is now struggling to survive, not to win, says this story. Russia is slicing through Ukrainian defenses in parts of the battlefield. That's another of the stories that we've come across. And war is not the only reason some Muslims dare ditching the Democrats. It's another of the stories. And yes, these are a few of the stories that we have been checking out online here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Thank you for the messages so far and the comments. Please feel free to share. And we look forward to your full participation. After all, it is both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. And we continue to take your calls, 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. As we keep the program flowing here on both sides of the story. And we look forward for more of your messages and your participation in what's popping, what's happening. And you have an opportunity to share your stories as well, to share your concerns, your issues, your messages. And by all means, please keep those messages coming in. and the WhatsApp number 876 365 3346. That's 876 365 3346. The regular call-in lines 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. As we continue with more on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM, taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. So we'll keep the messages coming, keep the calls coming in, and we'll continue to share the developments happening at home and abroad here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And once again, we continue to take your calls, your questions, your issues, your concerns, your messages. In fact, we're going to check for the WhatsApp and text messages here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. So this one from, well, quite a few messages uploading. INRI is one of the sources of these messages, but this is a take-up from another setting. So we'll move on. WhatsApp. Franklin McDonald says, I'm going back to my role of giving you trivia. Today is the 95th anniversary of the stock market crash of 1929. What is its relevance in Jamaica? So this is the question coming in on the occasion of the 95th anniversary of the stock market crash of 1929, and the listener asking, what is its relevance in Jamaica? Well, it can perhaps shine a light on an area that we weren't paying attention to before, or maybe identified an option that might become useful. Anything is possible. And Bishop Douglas Gooden, as usual, popping on and off the screen. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, asking questions. Asking, well, did the PM really say that you must not believe in pools? Some people would say it sounds like how, and the longer he goes on to say, the longer the PM wait to call the election, the wider the gap between the two political parties going to get. That's one of the stories, one of the messages, and why the PM loves to use the word bad mind. So is bad mind, people bad mind, bold for his money? Why them take it? And this one is about the future. Harvard expert to discuss digital transformation and related matters. This one says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm." Good afternoon. And this one says, "Happy." All right, we're just trying to go through as many of these messages as possible. Marsha Ray McBean says, "Good afternoon." Good afternoon. Raskava has shared with us a mural, is it? And it's a video recorded piece. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada is also on board. So too is Wilfred Gray. Let's hear what he has to say. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man, just you should go with you to receive Prime Minister Oles saying the polls make JLP push, which he got to go push, he's 9 points behind. But he must also understand that the poll make PNP motivated to the opposites, right? So to every action is an equal and opposite reaction, right? It's natural science, Newton's law. It's true in everything. Politics, real life, every action is an equal and opposite reaction. He said it's going to make you push guy to get what is going to motivate the other side to you, Tyson versus PMD. Going to stop punching this election here. Talking about Muhammad Ali. Like, broad. All right, they say return saying Harris lead Trump by 1 point. And in the said return article, it is saying Harris Martin not lead over Trump might not be enough to win the election if it holds through November 5. That is pulled on October 16 to 21 and the returns, which is more or less. And I'm telling you, in these polls, Hillary was up by 10 this time, Biden was up by 7. These close polls by them left thing. Is anything Harris favor none at all?
Hold a moment, please. One moment. One moment. Just a moment. Just a moment.
You're listening to
Okay.
106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
October 24 to 31 is being observed as the United Nations Global Media and Information Literacy Week. The week highlights the importance of equipping people with critical thinking skills in today's digital ecosystem to discern or identify reliable content. Keys to identifying reliable content include ensuring that the source of any information is authoritative, which means they're reputable for having knowledge in the particular area. Also check for accuracy against other sources of information. Stay tuned to Power 106 FM to learn more about the importance of relying on credible sources for information in today's media and information landscape to decrease misinformation and disinformation.
Thanks for holding the line. Please continue.
Yes. Yes, I guess they will read the US because that is the home stretch, and closing arguments, they take now is they're attacking the Madison Square Garden speech. They made a joke about Puerto Ricans and Miss Harris, But his politics on the base of instinct. Trump is leading the non-Juniors married going along with an Puerto Rican. So Trump is saying they just was joking. And they lead Hispanics usually vote for Democrat mostly. Trump having even their own poll Trump having a 12-point advantage with Hispanic now, and the Vice President Vance is also married with three children to an Hispanic. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And Trump, and that's usually like blacks and Democrats, strongholding predicting 25 to 30% blacks voting for Trump this time. We have Pastor Corey, the rooftop pastor from Chicago, stumping for Trump, black brothers saying, as them letting go Democrats and go look to make it themselves. Tired of the standout, and Mayor Adams too. Mayor Adams said, and that's a tell you, Democrat beat you if you complain his own party. And Trump is more likely to pardon him than those. Miss Harris, she was the president in charge of the board, and the borders are very involved in beating him. But that's what Uncle Tom's do. And Trump more likely to pardon him than those who indicted him. The first brief black mayor of New York, Mayor Dinkins, was the first one in a kind of brown. That's the type of person. Democrat Obama, Booker, Miss Harris, near white blacks. They promote, whereas Democrats, Republican are breed black, like Tim Scott, Mayor, and Camila. They're not in the real dark skinned people too much. The other day I heard her saying she don't want people just to vote for her because they are black. So, it's one response to some things. And, in time, Democrats lose the black votes. They lose it a lot because they're going too far left. I'm telling you. This Harris is coming from one of the most unpopular vice presidents to neck-and-neck race down the stretch, which I don't see. The polls is used by political parties to encourage voters to vote for them, keep them in the race, make it look close. I don't see it or feel it. His momentum seems to be with Trump. And even the Israelites who are war, they're more with Trump. Even the Palestinians in Michigan, which usually a Democrat group, endorse Trump because by his record, even though he supports Israel, he's more the person to facilitate peace talks because he talks with everybody. And the woman thing, you watch before the closing argument, a lot of the movement coming back to Trump as they understand that reproductive right don't mean they cannot have their baby again, it means abortion. That's a twisted use of the word reproduction, which means making copies. As against abortion, which means deleting. It's a political, deceptive, legal, loyally usage, which is misleading. All right, you have a blessed day. See blood on my ears, blood on my face, blood weathered up my shirt. Gotta take the knees from off my neck. Want to can't breathe again. You see, once it was a bad choice. He said the school shooters in Minnesota were his friends. Became his friend. Same Minnesota Democrat stronghold that Floyd incident took place. I'm telling people, if you put them in the demographics, it was a Republican or Trump, it was the same Democrats did it. Have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you for the call. Thank you for calling. Continuing with more on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. And still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Hello to Tony Kelly, who has been trying to connect with us for a little while with respect to a particular technology. We'll see if we can hear more from Tony Kelly going forward. Also messaging us, Rico, and this one saying, call made to Jamaica Radio Power 106. Both sides of the story. Thank you very much for joining us. This one says 3 forming, it says Tuesday, October 29, 3 forming better habits. Or is it farming better habits? All right. It seems to be a little on the lengthy side as well. Indeed it is. So we'll give you bits of it. Cultivate the habit of speaking well of others. Dwell upon the good qualities of those with whom you associate, and see as little as possible of their errors and failings. That's one. Another gem. All right, let's take another call first. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon, Miss Mervis.
Are you the 5E man?
5E.
Well, good afternoon to the staff of power and the great cleaner. Your parents. You know? Yes. Are you the 5E man?
What are those E's for now?
What is your mission? What is your mission? The other day I was listening to you, I realized your mission, all of the words and start with E.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
To educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship.
All of them start with E. So what a 5E man this is. Yes. Well, continue to listen to the various calls and the various problems that we are having. And as you know that your program is a living witness to some of the things I've been saying. If and the station at large, people have been following what the King of Kings and Lord of Lords tells me to tell them. Things would have been much different, Building the nation from inside, not so.
Yeah.
Deal with the dollar value from 2010. Well, if I think that this station, but nobody at other station, nobody seems to be paying attention to what is going on, what is being said. I am not saying these things on my own. I am sent to say them. And it's taking quite a lot out of me to sit here and say them. Sometimes I don't even want to say them. But I'm reminding of my fellow Jamaicans that I am here not on my own, but the national anthem written by Father Hugh. The Almighty took very, very serious. So I cannot understand. I keep asking why it is not a national hero. Because some of the people went to the mentioning the hero. Considering he wrote that anthem and it represents all of us. From Union Jack went down, the flag went up with Eternal Father blessing us. And this land has been very, very, very blessed. But unfortunately, we can't see the blessing. Too many of our leaders' eyes are on the outside. They can't see what God has placed here. Anyway, I'm reminding the nation that is a year of national repentance, reconciliation, and commitment. The Almighty been calling this nation too. From Nickel Point to Moran Point, from the east to the ghetto, instead from past to the general penitentiary, east to the world, everywhere. Every sector, you know, because this place is in a mine. And you hear it, the health sector is this, the education sector is that, and all kind of sector. Well, what the Almighty is saying that every sector needs to get together. A lot of these things happen because of the policies of the politicians. They create this mess and them can't fix it. And the Almighty said we will have to fix it as people. All sectors must get together simultaneously. They but in truth and in fact, we better not expect the police and the government or Minister of National Security to fix it by just collecting guns and things that things in them and get changed. It begins with people's lives, individuals, their home, out to the communities, out to the parish, out to the nation. We're just spending a lot of money training police. Yes, that is their strategy. But that strategy has not worked and it will not work. See, I told them long time from 2006 at the conference center where they said swelling the river of me. And I told them there that the strategy they're using will not change anything. You've got to begin in the mind of the people. I didn't say that King of Kings and Lord of Lords will create the human being knows that. That is the Father Sherlock requested vision. And that is the national vision. I have applied it and it has worked. In the education area and all kind of areas. So come November 1, well, our leader of the opposition said time come, but don't know what you call it, slogan means. When him say time come, God say fifth time come with destroy generation. Our whole generation has been destroyed. We make them go smoke weed. Because we get up with this argument for ganja is what, not what ganja is not. Ganja is medication, but when smoking can be damaging. I have seen it happen from my older young girl. But what ganja smoking things come, because some of them brain can't manage it. So we need a national cleanup. That was in Grandma cleanup from 1997. When an election was being called at that time, the electoral system was being prepared, was ready, and it was cold. Being sure that the president government was what an called election out of that timing.
It's really fun.
See money for it, and I will fight it itself in a just like it was not election time, it was national cleanup time to clean up the corruption and all those things. And we didn't do that, so we run ahead and the nation is going to see him correct. I don't know, but I don't think him can wait on us any longer. The thing where this generation, youthful generation is. He said he doesn't want to hear no more slogan in the nation. No more slogan and no more voter killing. Yeah. Politicians who running for whatever must go in them constituency attitude to be the same. I'm going to display them to have meetings and listen to them and know them. So this motor killing of everybody running on the place, very belongs to Joe Front. And people don't even know who they're voting for. And in those days, people have work to do, so they never have no time when evening come and jump on the truck. They man gone in and play the kind of music. They want to keep up these that drive around the woods here and mill and go on the food. So over there, so that keep it done. People must be so educated that they make informed decisions and not distract about slogan. So that is, they don't want more that kind of thing at the next election. That's tell them, I want them politicians to go and read the story of one man named Pharaoh in the Bible. And then they just got them put banana in the constitution and what. But tell me something, Dervan. When you went to school, did you anybody tell you anything about the constitution?
No.
What were you taught? What is good and bad and right and wrong?
Yeah.
And the other day, God said that to me, I went to school and went to college and nobody ever told me about the Constitution. It looked like most of our moral and values came from the Bible.
Hold a moment, please, Miss Mervis.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3:02 on Power 106.
Give love, give blood. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in collaboration with the National Blood Transfusion Service and the Kingston Public Hospital, is inviting you to lend a helping hand and donate blood on Wednesday, October 30 at the Church Teachers College in Mandeville, and on Friday, November 8 at the Independence Park, Hendon Circle in Savannah, Lamar, Westmoreland. Don't forget to bring your government ID and let your generosity shine. Remember, blood is life-giving and life-saving. The Lawston and Thompson Penn Community 4-H Club in association with RTA Fish Shipping and Energy Solution, Access Financial Services, Youth and Adolescents Policy Division, Ministry of Education and Youth, Apple Desire Store, Dental Shoes on Feet, and the National Fisheries Authority presents their annual Stew Festival and Farmers Market, Saturday, November 2, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Brooklyn Park in Thompson Penn, Spanish Town. There'll be concert, kiddies ride, and everything stewed. See you there November 2.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Norman Hines and the other listeners who are on board. Thank you for tuning in. Good to have you on board, Both Sides of the Story. Let's remind you of the numbers to call: 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So we continue to take your calls and your messages here on Both Sides of the Story. As we continue, let's see, this one says, I am yet to go up the line here. Right. Thank you. Thank you for holding, Miss Mervis.
Yes, just recently, I was looking back down when the Most High God said to me, we were never taught anything about any constitution. And I can remember one memory that he brought back to me was this one: the habit is like a cable. We weave a thread of it each day, and it soon becomes so strong that we cannot break it.
Yes.
Those are the kind of things, and there's this verse of scripture where it says, therefore all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. But this is the law and the prophet. And those Bible verses and memory gems and all that kind of thing was taught to us. You never hear no about no existence and no constitution. So all this constitution thing. I don't know because I have one and I try to read it and I can't make it not till all time. You see, to me it was written for lawyers, not for the ordinary citizens. And that is what I think why it's not getting anywhere. The constitution must be written in such a way that the ordinary citizen can read it and understand and follow it. It can't be written that everything is some legal something where you must be a lawyer for. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The Almighty said they need to sectionalize it here, Dervan.
Yes.
If you're going to deal with government, you deal with government and let people put their input. You sectionalize it and allow the people to put their input there. Not them undercover something where nobody don't know what is going on. That is when things need to happen. Sectionalize the construction of the new constitution and allow people to have them input. You see, all them family business. I think them need a law to deal with adultery. You know, this adultery thing going too common and easy, and it is a destruction of family life.
Mm-hmm.
The whole lot of things that when I listen to Miss Brown, you see, when I listen to Miss Brown and Miss Finley and Land Solution, you know, Dervan,
yes.
All that the heavens can you to think when you don't know about Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to them kind of support what happened to land and how people go capture people land. When they're supposed to appeal to live for it, you're going to tell somebody so they have right to capture it and go get title to Dervan. A thief in that. Jamaican word thief. Eh? You've been living on people's land for years. But government won about 60 years, not so? But the citizens was about 10 or 12 years. They capture people and live for it,
12 years.
12. So who's supposed to be collecting Dervan? That is somebody who the land belongs to.
Uh-huh.
That is robbery and rubbish. It's a whole heap of things to me when we feel it, you know. Because knowing that we don't know these things, we don't know them, nobody ever bring them to us. Nobody ever said them to us, Dervan. And when you reach up the road, you hear them kind of something here. Alright, my mother has 6 children and another one grew up with us, make 7. None of us live on that property for years because my mother and my brother was remain there. All of us gone out, some in foreign land, some in Jamaica, we have one property. And the land is there, and we don't interfere with my brother's still there. My mother died 2013. He's still there. Because we don't interfere with him. We leave him to live because he's a farmer and the land is there, so he farm the land and so. You understand? We could have got a political peace, not so? But we leave him. You're going to tell me that down the road your kindness and generosity become a situation where somebody wants to tell you no, so because you didn't do what not and this and what not. What somebody can claim. It's a whole heap of rubbish down the road about this last thing. And the people know nothing about it. And it's hurting this badly. Because it's causing a whole heap of trouble there, but people calling this place. I don't know, them calling ministry for everything and me want to run here. Them calling for everything. Sometimes it's about no lie, we can call for this. But then I got download and answer, give me to them, you know. And then I'm going to send me to some, tell me where to check. Then where to check. I'm going to give me a direct answer to give me. This God thing is a kingdom. People need to understand Jesus came down here and preach a kingdom. I want to tell all them people think that Jesus coming up with them tell and make no money. Christmas are run for the whole year, not so. He came down here to speak about a kingdom that is well set up there. We have, everyone, we get everything, we get our legal advice. You know, we get some real legal advice come up there when them two landlord in a court and they say, no, you no lawyer come go and learn, we want to learn what we go to. We get some real legal advice come up there. Believe you, we get hairstyle, we get dress style. All kind of something comes from up there, you know. It's a kingdom that the people need to understand that you will get instruction and get information and advice from. That is what I'm going to tell the people. There's a kingdom there where you can draw from. There's an evil organization out there that the devil influencing people to do all of them wickedness in the place. And these people listening to these wicked evil agents and doing the nation as Simon rightly said, I want if I good people in the nation are full. of people doing certain things. And at time, if we sing eternal Father, why can't we? What, you know, when I look into Exodus, when God sent Moses to do something, they send a skill not there, but if God will download the skill into the mind of somebody. And I know this young man who fixed the lawnmower, nobody teach him to do that kind of thing. I want him to pull up the lawnmower, throw every piece all over the place, and fix back that lawnmower. Nobody, in fact, you know, the young man couldn't even read. With all of that skill, when we come to my reading program, and in a 2 weeks, they pick up the skill, in a Dervan. You know? In a 2 weeks, you pick up so much skill because you have a skill already. So we must look for the good things and rise up, you know, this 1 year thing. And all the men, the people ask, where's the YMCA? Where is the Y? Where are some people? These men just using the boys, using them to you know, them gun and cabin and all kind of something. Our children are so messed up. And the Almighty is very displeased. Said, this is 1 year coming up. They can't stop. Hold on. Give me a message to get done on this. Every time it's done on this, every stop this whole thing with politics. Yeah. Election is due next year. When you're buried, just don't mash up the place. It's not time to talk election. It's time for the whole of we get together and help one another and see what can be done. And these politicians need to listen to us to pay them. They are our servants, not our God and Lord. And the Almighty said like nobody turns God and Lord over inheritance in them. About the people. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof the world and things that will therein. Now me around here, I want very expensive or whatever. But me don't know the cell company and the pain cut. It's a pain in the neck, you know, Dervan. People complain every day, but me don't know, you know. It's a pain in the neck, you know. Because me have a plan here and them say the plan, me not even know the plan saying, me not have money around there, benefit, there is what to pay for them something. You know, the family, the professor 94, me don't call it 1 cent from government beside our back money. No pension, no, nothing at all, no NIS, nothing. Eh? So let me tell them something, I say, I am living, they might live right now with the poor. They understand what is going on with them. So all this matter, I am glad they come up with this discussion about dementia. Because I told myself I'm going to write a simple book because my mother went through something similar. And when I look what happened to her, how it started, I said, no, miss, it's quite a few people that wrote me to talk, you know. But I said, my mother wicked. I mean, I have use my personal experience and tell them, no, if your mother never said so, it's not your mother. It's something else operating in the person. Because I remember when it started, my mother, we never know what was going on in Dervan. We used to go and give her money. And they hide their money all over the place. And so my brother to keep the money. One of her shoes in one place and one the next. All kind of something. 2 clothes and 2. All kind of something start to happen, you know. And it happened gradually. And people must say, I'll beat up some of them in Dervan. I don't think they're wicked and they will tell you, they tell the siblings that they're not eating nothing from morning. You hear that? When nothing going to say, you know? They're not eating nothing, they're not getting nothing to eat from morning. And all them things that you stuff. And it turns the siblings against one another. So I say, go write a simple book to tell people. I am so happy when I heard the Senate come up with it. But I said something similar to Floyd Morris when it was on 93 FM. They used to have this. I remember the senior citizen stuff. And I said, you need to put a slot here where somebody can come in and see those things that happen to the senior citizens. From way down there, I've been seeing this thing and know that the senior citizens suffering. When I move all the postal agencies and if them send really people collect all them little pension and go something, then I come back with it in a Dervan. Because I have to them daily walk and go feed. Because them can't trust anybody. So I am so happy that them begin to look. When they say, you know what I forgot this. You know how much of the health sector? This argument about free this and free that. Free health care. The system was going quite good. Till them come in with this free health care. And I keep on telling them that to stop this free freeness in the nation because no free. Somebody have to pay. Let everybody pay the little where them can pay that much of the health sector free free health care for children. Then the DLC come in and open it to everybody. So why did they put it for the elderly? Why you open it to everybody? So we have to return to something, Dervan. Yeah, something where we have to pick up a couple of people. Some of them are election gimmicks. But them used to win election, yeah?
All right, we're past the break.
We are the block with one NWA cannot run the state of Dervan. We need back the PWDs. If it's even Cornwall Middle Secretary, you understand? It just can't work. So thanks to the time, but you tell them, come November 1, that time, we are also feel that new Jamaica. The whole of it, seek the Lord and get wisdom from him and get whatever is up next. Yeah? They like how the devil influence the wicked them. We can get what we want from God. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call, Miss Mervis. All the best. Take care.
Both sides of the story. You're listening to Borough 106 FM. The time is now
18 minutes past 3 o'clock.
the auto world.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
We have quite a few messages coming in, and we want to clear them. This one from Richard saying, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. The Americans start casting their vote, or they will vote on November 5. And thank you very much for that reminder, Richard. All the very best. Here is another one. Oh, another set of voice notes, which we will not be able to air for the rest of the afternoon unless we will, in a Herculean way, try to do some kind of rapid listening in order to respond. But I don't think that's going to happen this afternoon. Sorry about that. But at some point, we'll come around to giving a listen to as much of the recordings as we can. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, asks, did the PM really say that you must not believe in pools? Some people would say it sounds like him okay, because how can he say that when the party conducts polls in the past? The longer the PM waits to call the election, the wider the gap between the two political parties going to get. Just like what is happening to our road network now. They wait so long to fix the roads that right now you can hardly find a good road to drive on. A couple more threads of messages in response to that call, that message. Why the PM love to use the word bad mind. So is bad mind people bad mind bolt for his money, why them steal it? Mr. Malcolm, is the PM really telling the people that they should not believe in polls? So these are the latest messages from Horace, otherwise known as Spider. And this one, the creaking steamship that launched widespread cholera. That's Franklin McDonald's pick for another story from the archives. Thank you very much for redirecting our attention to this particular one. The creaking steamship that launched widespread cholera. You can make a note, very easy to find, Google, and you're good to go. This next one is from Neville, otherwise known as Salah. Dervan, why is this? Well, he's designating, attributing hypocrisy by Miss Mervis. This is from Neville, otherwise known as Salah. So he essentially calls her a hypocrite. I don't think she's on the phone right now. Otherwise, we would have her tell us why she has come to that conclusion. But that's what she has here. All right. Thank you for the message, Neville, otherwise known as Salah. The numbers once again, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And at the same time, we say good afternoon to Jennifer Stewart. She says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan and your listeners. Thank you very much for being in touch, Jennifer Stewart. Pleasure to have you on board both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And let's see, as we continue with more on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Let's see, as we await the arrival of the newest of the messages. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So let's keep those calls coming and those messages flowing as we continue with more on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And you're invited to participate, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Anthony Freckleton says, afternoon, Dervan. Hope you are well. We're fine, thanks, Mr. Freckleton. Thank you very much for asking. Good of you to join us online here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And Norman Hines says, good afternoon. Yes, we read that one already. Thank you very much for staying in touch with us here in Radioland, to place calls, to send messages, to respond to questions, calls, messages. It's our pleasure. This one, all right, this one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Why has the price of coffee declined from $12,000 and $15,000 per box to a mere $3,000 per box? The farmers of Georgia to Cedar Valley in St. Thomas can't buy fertilizers, have no good roads. Farmers have gotten, or I think you mean have become victims of strokes, and their children are leaving their communities. And this message is coming from Michael in Red Hills, St. Andrew. This is why we've been encouraging Michael and the other members of the community to put their hands, hearts, heads, and voices together and command the respect and regard of the stakeholders in the coffee business. By now, it would have been some way ahead or some ways ahead, but better late than never. But something really has gone awry, and perhaps a research, some kind of research being done to identify what the shortcoming or the shortcomings are in this situation. But we trust you will emerge from the situation, you and your fellow stakeholders, that you will emerge from the situation with the kind of enlightening approach that is necessary so that all views can contend. Thank you very much for the messages. We look forward to seeing more of these messages. And of course, we're still taking your calls. 876 922 4112-5. Let's go to the break and come back with more in just a moment.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
Sammy's Shoe Store BOGO sale is now on. Get affordable footwear and accessories in the newest styles for the entire family. Visit Sammy's Premier Plaza, King Street, Boulevard Shopping Center, Sovereign Village, Portmore, and 10 Cumberland Road, Spanish Town. Sammy's BOGO sale ends November 2. Sammy's, the shoes people. Respect, get out one. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Neighborhood peace is shattered. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows while they watch their mother fall apart. He said she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him is gone. Her brother strikes to his sister and says,
Looks like it's just us from now on. All we always need to hear both sides of the story. We need to hear both sides of the story.
Let's take another call here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. Jimmy, in I think this
Good
is
afternoon, Sir Dervan.
East. Is it East Rural? East Rural St. Andrew?
Oh, St. Mary, St. Mary.
St. Mary. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind this afternoon?
I just would like to greet you and listeners, callers, Apollo 106, and just like to say that in these times when the thing them unpredictable concerning the climate and weather, one can just have to understand, so you see, just like over the foreign country, they never expect certain things, and it come out from them, but they have to do things different now, like building construction, have to reinforce them more different now. For example, like a building now, they can use steel frame right on the four corner, metal frame on the four corner of the building them and make sure so them set this thing like saying a 45 degree where the breeze can go over it without lifting up. Because when it too flat and the tail is too far out, the breeze can go up on the side of the wall and lift it up and pick it up. That's why most people working in a house now, they don't put no far in the eave of the house not go too far again. And just put a little eave. First time on you just put it like a shelter, you can stop on it and shelter. Like even the old time shop then you have some old time shop, you pass the shop and rain and fall, you can go ahead and shelter. Most people now building so far out again, then just put on a little something or 1 foot. So when they do so now the breeze not really affected. I mean, I understand, so you see there, man, you see nobody else and when you see with it gone up in the air with it like in our pint, it's not a style and do that breeze can directly lift off the roof. Like when the breeze blow on it now, it like more hold it down more and lift it up.
Oh.
You know?
Yes.
Like for example now, you make a house top. Imagine say you make a house top flat and you have an eave. You come out like 2 feet. The breeze just go underneath that eave and lift it off. But if you make it like say on a 45 degree fall, when the breeze blow on the building, you have breeze that blow underneath the bottom, but the breeze that blow on the top, hold it down at the same time. Like when you look on the side of the building and go up to the roof, the wind will come on top of the same tail of the zinc, hold it down. So it's more stronger to hold down more than to blow off.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. But why most people in my house with the top, I find them say look like a church.
I mean a church with what they call a steeple.
No, when people me in a construction business, we do building construction sometimes. So most time people don't want their house the gable to go up too high. They say it look like a church. But it's better for the breeze. Because the breeze is hold on the zinc out because when it's too flat now, it's easier to lift off.
Okay.
Even a shingle, whatever material. Yes, but so to another point now, Dervan.
Yes.
You remember December gone how much months now? About 11 months now since I was asking you what is the weather pattern during a war and after a war.
Yes.
And right now the hurricane season is supposed to be done in a few days. I'm gonna see where we're done in a few days.
Looks like it's revving.
Yeah, but me call it tropical depression. I wasn't thinking about hurricane. I'm just thinking about tropical depression. I remember somebody do a maths already. They say everything connect, even the what you call it, volcano activities that were going some years ago. Even one going 2018 and some other activities of war. All of them adds up and come to when you see enough of them in there go to the ocean and develop.
Yes. And a few months ago, sorry to cut you, a few months ago we experienced a little, well, it's not so little, but some kind of a sandstorm. You remember that? That was relatively recently, maybe a couple of months ago.
Yeah, some of them come like tornado. Well, me know say one some rainfall since this month come like a eel, drop like eel. But me never really directly see no ice in it, but then drop like eel. But the thing to be, what we think need to notice, you see, you need to notice is that every time the rain develop, not every time, lately, when the rain develop, it come like it just go up and the amount of water will go up. It just funnel back in one spot. Just like how it did run from the ground and go along now, all the stream and go along. So at that happen enough of the place, that's why you have the breeze, we call tornadoes, like everything just direct in a one little circle, and that's why tornado develop. But to be truthful, you see, as far as I see it, you see, Dervan, mankind have a lot to do with the invention never we have, and it's not stopping because everybody, all of us, some of us want to explore something and find out some invention and all sorts of things. So that is part of the story.
So you have
The
to.
Invention.
It's like you have to sort of. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and most of the invention we're not stopping because it's a really pleasure. Man, we take pleasure in a certain thing, you know. But like me talking to you now, me not take no pleasure in it. We just make you know, say every month we have tropical depression. I might go on right until December. So that is my point.
Well, thank you very much for sharing.
For the better, and condolence to all of those people who have been affected by some disaster of the kind. Condolence to them all.
Yes.
So Dervan, so how is the weather on your side?
I can't see what's happening outside because of the nature of this place.
You know, kind of cool, the rain don't really fall that heavily, but I don't know, give thanks. More time here.
All right, take care. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. That's Jimmy from St. Mary. Thank you for your call. And we'll continue with more here on both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp message. And so he was asking about the price of coffee. Why has the price of coffee declined from 12,000 and 15,000 per box to a mere $3,000 per box? The farmers of Georgia to Cedar Valley in St. Thomas were told by this message, can't buy fertilizers, have no roads. Farmers have been victims of stroke, and their children are leaving their communities. And that coming from Michael in Red Hills, St. Andrew. And we really hope these matters will be discussed so that the stakeholders will reach a mutually beneficial position. And someone is asking for you. This is a good one for the season. And I'm not talking Christmas, but the graduation season. So someone is asking us for Forever Young by Rod Stewart. So that would be a good one for the... I was just thinking of this time being graduation time invariably. So somebody sent a message asking for Rod Stewart, Forever Young. And if it's possible. In the meantime, let's continue. Welcome, Velta Wilson. Good afternoon. Barbara Hart says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan Malcolm, to you and our dedicated diaspora right across the globe, my brother, listening in cool, cool Stony Hill. Keep giving us plenty updates too. Okay. All right. So let's give, who was it now? Forever Young by Rod Stewart. And the message came from Michael from Red Hill, St. Andrew. So this is yours, Michael. Yeah, thanks.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. Time is now
3:45. Looking to add a touch of elegance.
It's 15 minutes to
Get your wall lamps, chandeliers, ceiling lamps, fans, and more at amazingly low prices. Sale begins Sunday, September 29th with up to 50% off selected items. It's the Phosphor Delighting Blowout Sale. September 29th. Shop and save only at Phosphorage. Open Sundays.
You could flip it. Yeah. So we have a couple of listeners who have it as a favorite for them as well. So we've been missing. I'm sorry, I've been missing some of the birthdays. There was a time that we'd ensure that everybody within this environment would have that opportunity. And also for our listeners. So good afternoon to Shevin Lawrence, who is having a birthday today, to Francis as well. I'm sorry, I missed the surname, but Francis is having a birthday as well. And who is it now? Is it whose birthday did we miss for this? Was it today? Uh, I'm not. I'm not sure. Did Chandel have a? Oh, his is tomorrow. Okay. So happy birthday when it comes, Chandel. Chandel Forbes. Happy birthday when it comes. Very good. And to all those who are in the process of graduating, moving on to higher higher development, uh, by all means, make it give it all you've got. Give it your best shot. Give it all you've got, and may you continue to be forever young. Thank you very much for listening to both sides of the story. And so let's thank you very much. And we look forward to more of your messages. Let's see. Barbara Hart says, Sir Dervan, the roads are killing us right across Jamaica. Was heading down to Black River and listened. It was a drive and a half. Then I had to stop in Clarendon, going toward Kellits. I had to turn back. It was too bad. I am so upset. After reaching halfway, I decided to turn back and head back to town. It's bad, says Barbara Hart. Sorry that that has been your experience, Barbara Hart. Thank you for sharing. And Barbara Hart says, My dear Professor Emeritus Sir Dervan Malcolm, you earn this full, my brother. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you very much for your message and all the best. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, this one says, Thank you for reading my message, Michael from Red Hill, St. Andrew. Okay, Michael, take it easy. And another one saying, Thank you so much for playing Forever Young. Well, we're happy to oblige. Thank you very much. This one says, Heads up, Brother Dervan. Iran is bombing Israelis at this moment. Heads up. Oh dear. Is this serious? Sorry to hear that. Either way. Because we want to be around to enjoy life, right? But we have to do what we have to do as well. And all the very best to all the stakeholders. And this one says, Hi. Okay. Don't recognize that face. But keep those messages coming in. We appreciate you and we appreciate your messages. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. So as we go down the line, making sure that we didn't miss any message. And thank you very much. As we continue with more here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. You keep those messages coming in, please. And those calls are appreciated as well. Norman Hines still on board. Mikey Sparkle out of Atlanta, Georgia, I believe. Jamaican Joy, Silburn Sidiel, Desmond Chisholm Sr., D. Lee Raymond, Caribbean Yard Vibe, Leo Gilling, Norman Hines, as we said, Carol Boyth. Thank you very much for keeping in touch with us here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. We see more messages pouring in. This one from Franklin McDonald. This one is about the creaking steamship that launched widespread cholera. So we did touch on that one already. Here's another one. My pickup fell into a pothole on, where is it? Oh, there, where is it? Thank you for reading my message, Michael from Radio St. Andrew. Thank you so much for playing. Right, this one says, my pickup fell into a pothole on Balmoral Avenue during heavy rains on the night of September 25. It has already cost me $51,000, and the problem still has not been resolved. And this is from Michael in Red Hills, St. Andrew. Dear God, that's a tidy sum. $51,000. After hitting a pothole or dipping into a pothole. You have to be so careful especially when it rains, because on the face of it you might think all is well, but then on a closer examination you'll realize that there's a deep hole there. Well, we trust that the authorities will fix that one as soon as possible. So we hope. And let's see which other message we have to clear. I think that's about it for the time being, but the lines remain open, and you know the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. 5. And of course, the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. And this one says, it is so unfortunate how we live in this country, such a beautiful, blessed country. Our people have become so vulgar, immoral, indecent people. I cannot take my children to the market with me anymore because of the conversations and behavior of the adults in the marketplace. It is terrible, says this person. And someone else is trying to get another message through. 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Still have more messages coming in. This one. This message that has been sent to us says, JLP, Mr. Chuck said he don't need a dollar from politics, then referred same PM Andrew, PNP reiterate, has he read the IC reports? Talk for oneself. Another connection of a thread of messages. Finance Minister, this message says, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, and you characterize it as being sold to his what? By JLP as loyal and irreplaceable. Now he is gone. Some folks said jumping ship. Others felt he was the heart of the JLP. New mandate needed. Election year. And the message goes on to say, Dr. Dawes all over Tufton, like Tyson knocking out Berbick or Lewis beating Holmes. All right, let's go to the break and come back with more in just a moment.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Cut back on recurring charges. Do you subscribe to services you never use? It's easy to forget about monthly subscriptions to streaming services and mobile apps that charge your bank account, even when you're not regularly using these services. Review your spending for charges like these and consider canceling unnecessary subscriptions to hold on to more money each month.
We should say good afternoon to Dr. Sylvanus Thompson, retired public health professional based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He will be doing a presentation on food safety monitoring, looking at the digital future of food safety monitoring tools, trends, and transformation. And we have no doubt that it will be quite enlightening. So greetings and a happy Tuesday to you too, Dr. Sylvanus Thompson, retired public health professional based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Thank you very much for reminding us of the connection. In the meantime, Franklin MacDonald is on to another link. He says there is much speculation today about the power of the Puerto Rican diaspora. And we have a call coming through as well. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Blessed noon.
Hi, what's on your mind? We're giving thanks as usual.
Yes, I just hear you speak on digital transformation.
Yes.
Because this is the world I've gone so.
Well, the world has been there for a while. The world has been there for a little while.
Okay. So, where we see the world appearing now, even in Jamaica here, it cannot be done through them slave institution, you know, church, school, and college, and business, you know, which is classified as institutional slavery system, you know. The family go to them system, them institution, them school and them church, you see it and work for them. Them can't control you know. When we stand in self-reliance, you know. That's why I give is the action, self-reliance, the vision of self and the future as being the only means and ways by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of our own freedom, our own freedom. And we are transferring freedom from King Charles, and him Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, who invested all his executive power in because we don't know people have so much education in this country, in this judgment, But not so wicked to themselves, I to who say.
So I thought something education was something good.
So brainwash education. So me I say these people.
What's the difference?
As me I say, I know colonialism and imperialism, slavery and death to I as a nation of people. See. So as me I say, recalling upon King Charles, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who invested all his executive power in him loyal opposition, Mark Golding, see, never say in loyal to black people, King Charles, loyal opposition, So we're calling upon these two political leaders, King Charles, Prime Ministers, them here in Jamaica, because we are Prime Minister Andrew Holness, after him ask forgiveness and commit sin against the nation, So he never come against the nation and tell you what kind of sin in commit, never share and dry. If I do man go to the well and just ask him when your husband and he say now, you not tell you what kind of sin in commit. See, so we want to know what kind of sin you commit in this judgment. See, how you commit big crime against humanity, if you could have know world history and take side with Britain, the UK, and America. That's the Commonwealth leader come tell you, say, no, after you join alliance with them, I come tell you, say, them no, regard we as human, as black people in Jamaica and the world. Because them not apologize to we, because them going to see we as them slave. And then not pay no reparation. See it? So we want to know if you're going to stand in the strength and pride of an African sovereignty of ourselves worldwide. All of these people here are talk about Black Lives Matter and Pan-African, all type of them people who stand up in them Africanness. We only they know to stand up worldwide and defend what is ours, demand our right. See? Because we're there in Jamaica and the Caribbean, we still in them place and them carry us up. Conslave we out in this judgment, so we take them red-handed. How them are going to make it out? We don't know how we and them are going to work it out. Like Garvey said, the white men children shall be in jeopardy with the black man children. And I'm that I go on and know in this judgment, So how your Prime Minister Andrew Holness and tell the people what kind of sin you commit, see it down to mash up African unity in this country in the 60s, especially this Labour Party here. How to mash it up. When we be strong, everyone was talking about Ethiopia, we be proud to be black, And then mash it up. Them and then colleagues CIA, America and England, because them don't want to see us unite as a people. So them divide us in a labor right and PMP and call it Jamaican. Earthquake, lightning and thunder, we are Ethiopian royal sons and daughters, So we are lost till calling from over the distance, sea, freedom, redemption, international repatriation, to return home to Africa, Every man work and build a own nation. China man work and build China. European work and build European. India work and build India. See? And that we are dealing. We want to go home to build a kingdom, a black empire of our own. Because we see these people, these nations and countries don't mean us no good. We don't go to slavery out and work out for cheap labor, where them are doing now, and how to put on back the chain on my foot. As my father would say, King Emmanuel, he always tell the MP and every empress them and say, you no feel no grace. If how it feel, if you need a one lose it, and the man them to feel them seed back, I'm say they have a machine up a youth to clamp the data them breast and cut off the man them balls. So we must know what we want in this judgment. That is the word of the right and
Russ Lloyd, this is daytime radio.
Okay, all right, kind of night yet. So this is the word of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, And him always speak upright, Because we have it on a program every Sunday here on the island here. These words that you hear I'm not talk, we have a program on the radio every Sunday, Bobo Dread, we have a program, there's no one member, where we talk about our black affair and black culture, consciousness, black pride. We have it on the radio, so we're not nothing out of order. We are ordering our conversation, all right, Anyway, make we stand up, and demand our rights from these two prime minister, current and alternative prime minister here in Jamaica, because them are the biggest problem, At 63 years, them sell you out from 1962. Bustamante and Manley sell you back in a slavery in this judgment, and we turn you back for Marcus Garvey. Them send Marcus Garvey a prison. Every black leader rise up in the world. Them assassinate them. We stand for African unity. We say we unite as a people. Return to our former glory as a black royal sovereign nation wealth kingdom of people, Not Commonwealth. Commonwealth are colonialism and imperialism, That are King Charles, But nation wealth is something, Africa with all its natural wealth and resources is I and I black people, born and unborn, all black sons and daughters, Africa is for I and I, The man so what make us to be royal and very peculiar and special, And it's like how you hear them talk about them a royalty. Them a fake, the white man can't bring a black picnic, the Chinese man can't bring a black picnic, the coolie man can't bring it, So we can bring all of them, that's why we is royal, and very special, peculiar people. The man said, blessed is the nation who God is the Lord. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So we have nothing to fear. Our father, King Emmanuel, always say we in a good hand. After we in the black Christ and everything all right, The first recipient who received, the golden medallion 1966 here in Jamaica at King's House from the King of Kings and the Lords of Lords, golden medallions, insignia, The man left unto I, to govern ourselves, self-govern, and to represent him also, It represents the strength and pride of an African sovereignty. So from 1966, we stand up, and drop the honors of Queen Elizabeth and Charles, drop them honors. Nakala them honors down the in the parliament, so now have a Queen Elizabeth and Charles go to those honors. Drop the man for them honors and take on to I honors, black honors, see, as royal sons and daughters, prince and princess of the Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, we are Ethiopian royal gods and goddess, if the world please or not, That's what we is, So make we be proud of ourselves, see it, and stand up this time.
All right, Russ Lloyd.
In black supremacy and its love.
Thank you.
Honorable.
Take care.
Take care.
You too.
Worthy.
You're listening to Borough 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. How much do you know about spices and the impact they have on your everyday life? Join us every first and third Thursday during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie at 6:18 a.m. for Spice Up Jamaica. We'll give you tips, tidbits, and interviews about the revitalization and sustainability of the Jamaican spices, including ginger, turmeric, and pimento. That's Spice Up Jamaica every first and third Thursday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Spice Up Jamaica is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food for Progress Jamaica Spices Project.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Here's one from Cuban in Georgia. He says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. The most massive transfer of taxpayers' poor people funds, the poor taxpayers' wealth has taken place in Jamaica, has happened under the current administration, even in the history of Jamaica, and the politicians are fully responsible for the poor taxpayers' money and by cannot be accounted for. Well, at some point in the system, the funds would be accounted for and would need to be accounted for. But anyway, the rest of the message for look what is happening at the Bustamante Hospital for Children. I believe the medical doctors, more than the government, that says money is not the problem. But how come that the if most things aren't being maintained, where are those maintenance employees? That's the question being asked by Cuban in Georgia. This one says, Ras, read John 1, Colossians 1, and Hebrews 1, so that your truth can be real. All right, thank you for your messages. Let's see. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I don't know if Ras Lloyd has a queen, but it just hit me that he should team up with Miss Mervis. And she's having a good laugh. All right, thank you for your message. And this one now from Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, Sir Malcolm, if the PM search far and wide enough, and if he really loves his party, like my late mother did, he should know that if he wants his party to put up a show in the next general election, he should step aside and give his party time to breathe. That's from Horace, otherwise known as Spider. Thank you very much for your messages. Please keep them coming. And we're still taking your calls as well, 876 922 4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. We see Cherry Henry is on listening and messaging as well. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. No Power 106 from the storm. Still waiting. What? That's not good. See if we can take a picture of that one and send it to the transmission team on WhatsApp. Let's see if we can set this one straight. This is, let's go back. Horace, otherwise known as Spider. So we're going to send the message, forward your message to the transmission TV radio crew, which we're doing right now. Hope you got it. Let us know if you did or didn't. Thank you very much for your message. And sorry you weren't hearing us for whatever reason. All right, let's keep it going. Here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. 3346. As we keep it going here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. And this is a follow-up, is it? All right, we'll find out in a moment. Follow-up, there's more. There are more follow-up messages. This one. Okay, let's go to this one. This one saying, Sir Malcolm, politicians should not be rich from the works of services they provide to the public, but these politicians have enriched themselves. This is a serious act pulled off on the taxpayers by the administration. This is the first time in history of Jamaica politicians have enriched themselves in 8 to 10 years. That message coming in from Cuban in Georgia. And let's see who else is messaging us. This one from James in East London says here, blessings, Sir Malcolm. Blessings to everyone who is listening to the radio. Okay, this is James in East London. So far, we have been able to clear almost all the messages. We still have room for more. 876-922-4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp message, 876-365-3346. As we continue with more here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And we look forward to receiving more of your messages and taking your calls as well. 876-365-3346 or the regular call-in line 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. Continuing with more on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. I missed this message earlier on from Inez Iona Campbell Murray, saying, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, viewers and listeners from Linstead, St. Catherine. Good to have you on board. As usual, Inez Iona Campbell Murray. Inez Iona Campbell Murray in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica. And let's see who else is messaging us here on both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM. Looks like Cuban in Georgia. Is it? Let's see. Yes. No, I think we've read that. Is there an additional message? Jamaica politicians, Yeah, we read that one already. Thank you very much for your messages and your calls. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. So we continue to take your calls, to read your messages, and to share some warm greetings as well. And we thank all of those who continue to participate in the program. We appreciate you and we thank you for your continuing listenership and support here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And by now you know the numbers by heart, right? 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. So we'll keep it going here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And continuing to sift through your messages. Let's see who we have here now. Carol Boeth on, this is on YouTube. Yes, this one is on YouTube, or is it on Facebook? They're sitting side by side. So, So Carol says, after all, well, that's, hold on. She says, after all, Jamaica, where is it? Is there a beginning? Carol says, after all, Jamaica operates under a democratic government where, all right, it's popping up and down the screen. Let's see. Right. So Carol Boeth says, after all, Jamaica operates under a democratic government where citizens have the right to voice their opinions and participate in the country's affairs. Attempts to silence the public go against these democratic principles. Politicians, from councillors to the Prime Minister, are hired by the citizens and hired by the citizens and are accountable to them. Let's maintain respect in our interactions, remembering that ultimately the people are the true employers, and that is true. Thank you for that reminder, Carol Boeth. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, if any Jamaican goes anywhere to purchase anything, if the price is more than $1 million or 1 million, let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30.
October 24 to 31 is being observed as the United Nations Global Media and Information Literacy Week. The week highlights the importance of equipping people with critical thinking skills in today's digital ecosystem to discern or identify reliable content. Keys to identifying reliable content include ensuring that the source of any information is authoritative, which means they're reputable for having knowledge in the particular area. Also check for accuracy against other sources of information. Stay tuned to Power 106 FM. Learn more about the importance of relying on credible sources for information in today's media and information landscape. to decrease misinformation and disinformation. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Neighborhood piece of shine. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows while they watch their mother fall apart. She says she's been faithful. She says her love for him is gone. The brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us for one. All we always need to hear both sides of the story. Hear both sides of the story. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and here is a message from Cuban in Georgia saying, Sir Malcolm, if any Jamaican goes anywhere to purchase anything, if the price is more than 1 million, a red flag is triggered. So how come, essentially asking, so how come so much billions move in and out of bank account? How come no red flag being triggered here? Is the bank in on the scene? The banks must answer some serious questions here because no one in Jamaica is above the law. The Governor General is carrying news to England, says Cuban in Georgia. We have to start to question the banks. How come these massive transactions are taking place in their institutions and no red flag triggers? No red flag triggers the bank. The banks are covering up. So writes Cuban in Georgia. Thank you for your message, Cuban in Georgia. As we continue to read and share your messages here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876. I should have told you that Carol Boeth has put on the page hashtag respect our voice. Hashtag respect our voice. So that's what is on the screen there now. And the messages are still coming in. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. As you continue to put your thoughts together and share with us, we appreciate that. And the numbers that you can use, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. All right, so we keep them going here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM.
still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, and hashtag respect our voice. Yeah, that's quite timely. And that's from Carol. Boy, she sent us a part two, but I'm still not seeing the part one of the messages, unless part one wasn't numbered or otherwise marked. But if that pops up, then we'll still share it. But in the meantime, though, we keep the ball a rolling and look out for more of your messages and listen out for more of your calls. We appreciate your participation and we thank you for your interest. 876-922-4112-5 are the general numbers, and the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So who wants to play the next, take the next, I'm thinking football now. Never mind. Let's continue here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, and continue to take your calls and your messages here on both sides. So keep those calls coming in, please. And we look forward to receiving more of your messages. And we continue to take your calls. And thank you for your listenership and support here on both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM is trying to provide a platform for our people so that they will always have a voice. So we keep it going. 876-922-4112-5. Those are the regular numbers. 876-922-4112. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. But the regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112-5. Someone is looking to advertise on our WhatsApp. Cuban in Georgia always has a lot to say and a lot to share. Please feel free. This one says, Sir Malcolm, why is the administration taking the IC to courts? Can't we see that this has never happened in Jamaica before? The parliamentary executive is taking another breach of government to court. This is unprecedented, says Cuban in Georgia. Reference to the IC is reference to the Integrity Commission. And this one says, Sir Malcolm, are there 3 branches of government in Jamaica? And can you remind the public of those three branches of government. So let's see. The executive, the judiciary. What am I forgetting? The judiciary, the executive. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's called brain fog. It'll come back. The executive, the judiciary, the all right, we'll come back to that in a little while. In the meantime, we continue with more on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Continuing as we get ready for another segment of the program. In just a moment. So we'll continue in just a moment as we get ready for the break here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. How much do you know about spices and the impact they have on your everyday life? Join us every first and third Thursday during Farm Talk with Alvia McKenzie at 6:18 a.m. for Spice of Jamaica. We'll give you tips, tidbits, and interviews about the revitalization and sustainability of the Jamaican spices, including ginger, turmeric, and pimento. That's Spice of Jamaica every first and third Thursday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Spice of Jamaica is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food for Progress Jamaica Spices Project.
shoulder, throws him up against the wall. He says, would you respect me if I didn't have this God? 'Cause without it, I don't get it. And that's why I carry one. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Yes, both sides.
Find yourself in the gutter when all alone in a part of town. With it waits in the darkness with a weapon to cut some stranger down. Sleeping with an empty bottle, it's a sad and an empty heart. But he needs a job, a little respect, get out while he can. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Neighborhood piece of shattered. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows while they watch their mother for the fight. She says she's been unfaithful. She says I want to die. The brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. Oh, we always need to hear both sides of the story. Yeah, both sides of the story. And the lights are all on, and the world is watching now. People looking for truth, we must not fail now. Be sure, before we close our eyes, walk away from here.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. And hello once again to Carol Boeth. She has sent us a follow-up message. She says, I'm curious to know if the revival of the FinSac debacle is just another election promise. Wasn't this already promised in the previous election? Jamaica is still waiting on that FinSac report, and it's an issue Jamaicans have been waiting on for years. Let's not get distracted, Jamaica. Remember to hold leaders accountable for the promises they have already made. And that's from Carol Boeth, another thread of messages. Cornell Terode St. Mary says, good evening, Dervan. Good afternoon. Every time the opposition puts forward their plans for the country, the JLP and their supporters and some political analysts asks, where is the money gonna come from? While at the same time, the government is making dozens of promises daily. My question is, where is the money coming from to fulfill these promises? And if the money is there, are they going to take the money with them when they leave office? Question from Cornell Terode in St. Mary. As we continue with more here on both sides of the story, Poro 106. We are not sure if we answered your question, Cornell. Cuban in Georgia says, I believe the judiciary branch is the only branch that has to show compassionacy. What? I have to check this word. Maybe a typo. Maybe it's a typo. Don't worry about it. So the message was, I believe the judiciary, which is one of the three branches, the judiciary is the only branch that has to show, you say compassionacy. Please bear with me. I'm going to have to check. This one is a little strange to me. And the judiciary cannot be partial towards any other branch of government. Each branch is separate and cannot be overpowered by any other branch of government without fear or favor. There must be impartiality by all branches of government. Thank you very much, Cuban in Georgia, for that follow-up message. And let's check to see if there are other messages that need to be cleared. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. So we're almost out of time for today's edition of Both Sides of the Story. But since we have just a few minutes, we'll keep it going for a little while longer. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says the Integrity Commission is in a very sensitive position in Jamaica and could be dangerous too. So why did the government have them all on show for the world to see their faces? I'm sorry, I wasn't there. Did we get an answer? Not sure if those who were there got an answer. But let us know, please, so we can do a follow-up and clear a few more of these messages. This one says, good afternoon, Dervan. Good afternoon. The FinSAC report is an election gimmicks, a waste of taxpayers' money. The GLP know that some of their members got that is why you don't hear them blowing the trumpet. Lawrence in Cayman. Thank you for your message, Lawrence in Cayman, and all the very best. Thank you for your call. And Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, that's why we must have checks and balances in the system of government in Jamaica. I think we have covered pretty much all the messages now. Thank you very much. And We are grateful for your usual listenership and support here on both sides of the story, Para 106 FM. And we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, both sides of the story here on Para 106. And just as we're about to put a cap on this one, we have another piece. Did anyone catch the interview with Yola Gray Baker and Joseph Patterson a few nights ago on Finsac Suicides? It was incredibly moving and informative. Hearing the stories left me in tears, realizing the truly deplorable treatment our people endured. The issue deserves our attention and compassion. And I'm going to have to leave it there. We see the others joining at the same time. H. Morgan in Birmingham. And some of the others. So we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. We thank Davin Thomas for his mastery at the controls. Thank you very much. Thanks to all our guests, our listeners, and thanks to you, our faithful listener, faithful listeners at home and abroad, for making it both sides of the story. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 5 o'clock. News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Hello? Hello?